What's up, YouTube? Look who do I have with me here today. This is Arlenis. Most of you know her. If you don't, that means you're not a member. You need to be a member. Come join the club. This is a special time. We moved it. I think this will work for everybody. Uh, and so let's get to it. But first things first, wow, what a day, right? So if you were trading today, you probably went out of your mind. You were happy, and then you got challenged, and hopefully you ended up happy again. But guess what? I do have another guest. Yes, I do have another guest. He's waiting backstage. There he is, the man himself. The man himself. I'm telling you what, I don't know how we got him last minute. So everyone has the same question on their mind. Sir, thank you for joining us. Cornholio is your nickname here, just so you know. What do you have to say? What? Higher, 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 longer. He's saying. Hopefully you can hear him. I don't know. I think he's having issues with the mic. But anyway, he says, I think we've established that higher, longer is the way to go. Yeah, we got that. So let's get him out of here. Get the flock out of here, as they say. All right. So for reals, let's come up with some levels. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to cover a few levels, and I'm going to say something that's going to probably surprise some people. The Dow, the DIA, this is the Dow, the ETF for the DI for, let me see here. Am I on stage? There we go. You're looking at the Dow, the DIA. Today's close is less than 1% away from a weekly all-time high close. Let's say it again. Today's close is less than 1% away from the weekly all-time high close. That is, to me, that is astonishing. And the way it did it today was insane. In case you were following it, well, I say this in spite of us saying first thing in the morning before the market opened, we put some lines, and I said the target on the Dow, believe it or not, on the YM was this. So before the market opened, we put an arrow here, we put this arrow, and I said might be seeking 35.9 or 36.045. Let me see what 36.027. Like what? And the way it did it was just not right. I mean, it was nice to see, but it was just not right. All right, so we started with. So what do we do with it now? Nothing. If you're not long, you should just trade fast. And to honestly, I don't know what I would do with it. There's a clump of support at 35.929 and another one at 35.880. So if I wanted to engage long, you can engage into the first level I mentioned, long, to see if they can come back and take a higher high. But you would need a tight stop for that. That is my opinion on that one. Otherwise, the better long would be closer to the red line, which is the second value I gave you. So 35,880 is a nice round number. The closer you get to it, you can catch a long here to see if you can rally back to 35.90, 990. And the trade would be to exit there because there might be a lot of sellers there. So that is what I would do with that. In fact, let me make my screen bigger. So I'll go back to the ES. The ES wasn't as violent, but it was in the last few minutes. This move here was not forecasted by what I expected from the options. It was until the last minute. Somebody, Neda, are you here? The question was, do you think we have downside pressure? I said we don't, but we have limits. But I said we've been through the levels so many times up and down during the day that I don't trust them this late in the day. And hopefully they took that. They took that to heart and didn't try to short it. And if you look at my screen, there was an inverse head and shoulder. So basically, once they took out 45.63, and that number is important, folks, because I've been repeating it, 45.62 plus or minus 1 or 2, it's been a point of control a few days. And they busted through it like it wasn't there. And then they busted through level sellers as well like it wasn't there. So pretty crazy stuff. But if you zoom out, yeah, there's going to be a lot more hard work up here. So I don't want to chase it blindly. So I'm relegated to trading tactically. Um, Personally, I shorted the S&P a little bit through mid to high 4,600 for middle of next week, just to balance out my longs, and that's about it. As far as trading this contract, again, I would buy the dip into the first level of support, which would be 45.64, and see if you can curl back up by tomorrow and take out 45.80, so you can have an upside from there. But again, I think the trade would be to ride it from the bounce to the neckline and exit or leave runners. If by some chance we fall into the 45.50, I would take longs at 45 or into 45.51, and I would stop out if we lose the lows of today, because I don't know how low they need to go from there. All right, I know these are big, broad strikes of brushes, but that's how difficult that's been. So I'm going to cover the NASDAQ and the CL next, crude, and that's it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about trading in general. So 15,930 is the neckline for the NASDAQ. You can extend support into 15,910. So between 935 and 910, I would enter longs if you can withstand the pain or the risk, to ride it back up to 15,965 and exit. Now, if they take out the highs of today or the highs of the afternoon, that's a different story. The violence was mainly from the mega caps in the end. They suddenly woke up. Like as soon as the Tesla event went away, it's like all the money was held up by Tesla, and then they dumped it back into Apple and such. I don't know. We'll figure out what happened tomorrow. A lot of support for the Nasdaq, and that extends through 15,860. You lose 15,860 or 57, a whole new ball game. I don't anticipate that happening today, but if you do, that's, we don't know what's going to happen in the beginning of the month, fresh month. Crude, pretty bad day. I'll tell you why. I've been saying I'm worried about crude. I'm worried about crude. And if you've seen my videos in the last couple of weeks, lower highs, lower lows, I said maybe now they're making the turn and they have a trigger, and they took the trigger today. They hit the second trigger and they died like they hit a brick wall. And if you look left, this is a place where they've had contention before. Look in the past, important decision. So, and then I said it would be a big blow if they lose 74. So now it's glowing orange. They better not lose 74, because then the conversation would be to follow that pink line and hit and lose that support right here. And then we're talking mid to low 60s. So it's not fait accompli yet. So they could come back and take that out. There was some silly headline in crude today that caused this ruckus there. So those are the levels. Now, if you have any questions about that, you can follow them up in the comment section. That's why it's for. Speaking of comments, this is the time where I'm going to ask you to kindly hit a like if you do like what we're doing, because it's a lot of work and we love having the support. And today, let's see here. I was hoping we would have a few more people, but we did change the time on some people. So if you have other things you wanted to see covered here, let us know. We will try to work it in. All right, let me see if there are any comments here that we can say. Hi, guys, everybody. No questions? Okay, we'll get to the question and answer spot. So I have Arlenis. She helps us get organized. Everything that happens with us has to go through her. A lot of the good decisions come from her. And what you probably know already, but I'm going to say anyway, she's a trader herself. She trades from the phone, which I can't do. But she's done well. And today she was active. How well did you do today?
I did pretty well today. I think that I'm more so focusing about the emotions. I think as far as trading and my entries, they're pretty good. I don't think traders focus enough as far as like the mental game of trading. I have this book that I always keep it here. I have some areas that are highlighted there. It helps me keep level sometimes because I suffer from FOMO a lot, which I know a lot of us do. And although I have good entries and I'm able to make money very quickly, I stay on my trades very long. And I've made it a goal for myself because I read somewhere that most profitable traders they normally take 20%, 10 to 20% of the trades that they're in, which are fast trades. And then for iron condors or advanced options trades that we do, normally 50%. So hopefully next year is going to be the year that I'm going to kill it, because this last couple of months I'm focusing just on the mental, not so much of the trading. I've been to most of our charting events, obviously be all of them because I set them up, and all of the options events because I set them up, and the futures events. So the knowledge is there. I think is applying it, being consistent, and being able to use the tools that I have, which is you, Ragu, and the rest of the team. We have a lot of knowledgeable people, and I tend to be very hard-headed. I have a lot of offline conversations, and I know that people that are hurting in trades is because they're hard-headed as well. As far as like today, what I did and I focused on was just executing the trades that you were saying in the live room. So that's why I was so profitable. It was because you said at one point, I would play a call on the XPX. So the moment you said that, I used that exact time and timed it and played a call on the XPX, set an expectation for 20% of my winnings and got out. You said, I don't trade Tesla. Me and Tesla have a very bad relationship. I lost a lot of money last year with it, so I don't trade it. But at one point you did say, I would buy Tesla here. So I was like, let me just see if the things that you say other people can execute on their own. Is it that we're losing because we're not paying attention to what you're saying? Is it that we're losing because we're not focusing on the things that, of the little tips or the little snippets that you're saying throughout the day, and we're focusing more of what we're thinking or what we're analyzing and not using that as leverage? And I noticed that if I follow your trades more, I would be I know you're laughing because we've been talking about this for about a year now, because we've been working together for a year, but I'm very hard-headed. So that's what I want to say to everybody, is that I know that most of us are, and we're not paying attention, and we're not listening, and we're not focusing. And a lot of the information that you guys give us, we're asking the questions 2 times and 3 times and 4 times, and then we go into Discord and ask the questions again, and Ragu gives the informations and their details, and we're asking him information that he's already shared or posted. And it can get frustrating for somebody that's trading in the background also to be asking questions that they've already given the answers to. So I know that the majority of the people here are already in our group, and that either you're in Discord or you're in the live room. For those of us watching us for the first time, I encourage you to take advantage of the opportunities that we give you, as far as, joining the live room for either $7 promo or the free promo. Just see what we do, see what we can share. I can tell you for a fact that just one trade one day will pay for the monthly membership if we actually pay attention. But we're not doing that. And then we're complaining that we're not doing that, we're not saying the right things, that you're going against them, but we're really not listening. So I think we need to focus more of our mental part of the trading, and focus a little bit less, or take a step back as far as like, what is it that I don't know, or trying to look at their strategies, or what is somebody else trying to show me, because we show you a lot, but you're still in YouTube looking for other strategies and other people that are showing you other things, and you're still trying to learn other things. When you're not specializing or focusing on that one thing that we've already taught you. So it's like you take a step forward and then three steps back. There's a lot of information out there that's very confusing, and we're using all of that in our trading. How are we going to make money like that? That's my
Right.
spiel.
You're not alone. I think you're getting the support. Same. So thanks for sharing. I know it's hard to share. You put yourself out there. You share a lot. You post in the Discord as well, some wins and losses and frustrations, and some truth about the mental aspect of it, which is what she brought to my attention. I never paid. I didn't give enough highlights to the mental part of being successful, and sometimes we beat ourselves. So that's pretty awesome that we started focusing on it. So yesterday, I think, or today, I went in there and I shared. Yesterday, I got a little frustrated with the price action, and I had to work hard to talk myself from acting on it. And that's the difference. Is if you can stop yourself from acting on it with emotions, then you're good to go. So I think what I noticed from you, if you want, I'm going to make comments about what I'm seeing in you, is that you've got, having had added skills, you're now somewhat calmer under pressure.
Yeah.
Like today, you mentioned you had issues connecting.
I had no internet. I was at the doctor's office. Yeah.
Right. So she had issues connecting, yet she managed to get out of a trade somehow without panic. So it's this is part of, and also you mentioned something else, that at certain points you're frustrated, but you're not going backwards.
Right.
So you're making mistakes, but they're not mistakes that are costing you money. They're costing you progress, which is different than digging yourself into the hole.
Right.
So
It can
I
be
like
very
that.
frustrating when you have a trade that you're making a lot of money and then you make a mistake and then you're getting set back. So if sometimes it feels that I'm not moving forward, but last year I lost a lot of money and this year I'm not in the same position. So I think I'm ahead because I could be losing and I'm not. I'm not gaining as much as I wish I, and with the knowledge that I feel that I have, I should be gaining. That's why I'm focusing more of that mental part of it. So, some people are like, oh, they're frustrated because they suck. They're not doing this right. But focus on, the progress that you made. Are you making the same mistakes that you've been making, or are you making different mistakes? Because if you're making different mistakes, you are moving forward. You're not making the mistakes you were making last year, which I'm not. I'm not running on emotions anymore. I'm not getting into a trade and immediately seeing $10 and getting out. Like, I have a target now. I'm able to look left and see where I should get out of this trade. I have indicators that are helping me make better decisions. So I have those tools now that are able to aid my trading. It's just a little bit of that emotion. When I'm winning too much, then I get greedy and I want to make a lot more money and I end up losing what I've made because I wanted to push myself to levels where I probably am not ready yet. So I think it's food for thought for everybody. We have a lot of knowledgeable people in our group, a lot of people that are good with charting, a lot of people that are good with options, and they're still very frustrating because they're not making the income or the money that they should. Focus on something else. If you're trading in your sim, which I say this a lot in our events, and you are making money in your sim, it's not your charting skills, it's your emotions. If you go back to your live account and you're losing in your live accounts, now is your emotions that is taking over because you're not able to play the same with real money, although you have the charting skills or the option skills to be able to execute. So think of those things when you're playing and see what is it that you're doing and try to stop that and move into something else, because we're always going to have mistake, but if there's progress, at least we're getting into different levels.
Definitely, progress is the key. It takes years to get to where you want to be. A lot of people jump in it and they expect immediate results. They sometimes get immediate results, beginner's luck, or the market. Like in a rallying market, you have to work hard to lose money, and then before you know it, something changes on you. You continue doing what was working on the way up, and then you figure out you don't know as much as you do. I think it takes years just because you need to learn what to do in up markets and down markets and sideways markets and choppy markets and boring markets and super exciting markets. And it takes years for us to go through all these cycles. You can do it alone, or you can do it with friends. We do it with friends, and we are out of time. So, with that, I will look, but listen, before I go, I have to give you all props. This is the most efficient group ever. We have the most likes to presence. So, high five to everyone. Thank you very much for the support. We will see you in a few hours.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
All right.